It's time to see what I have used in 30 days. This is literally just a box of items that I have used up in the last 30 days, not longer. That said, of course, I've been using many of these products for much longer than 30 days, but I thought it would be fun to sit down and go through some of the empties that I've used up while I've been in this Airbnb. I'm leaving it in a few days, so now is the time to throw it all out. But yeah, let's just sit down and go through them. And I will say most of these are going to be cleansing balms or oils, just because I had been doing a big cleansing balm oil video, and so I like to use them almost to the point that they're done before I actually do the video. So with that said, the first one I have is the Bondi Sands Melt Me Moisturizing Cleansing Balm. You can see that I cut it open to get out every last drop. I didn't do that because I loved it. I did it because I like to use my products up. And this I will definitely not be repurchasing. It felt very, very thick. It never emulsified really well on your hands. Like some cleansing balms or oils, or I guess balms really, they can be thicker, especially I'm thinking of the Naturium fermented camellia one in the tube. It's quite thick, but the second you use a little bit of warmth on your hands to kind of warm it up, it will start to blend into a much silkier consistency, and it will actually emulsify with water. This one, I felt like I always had a film, a layer of film on my skin after washing it, and it was I would have to kind of scrub. It did emulsify, just not in the way that I like, not like an easy emulsification, and I would 100% have to use something else, like a second cleanse, which is fine because I always do a second cleanse, but it's not good. So it's cheap, but it's not good. All right, the next one I have, and this is a sad kind of fail. This is the Cocokind Oil to Milk Cleanser. So the first time I had this, I had just a sample, and I don't know if there's a difference between their sample and the full size, but this is very similar to the Bondi Sands one. I didn't feel like that emulsification was as pleasant and pleasurable as I want. It just feels a bit thick, and when you're thinking about the emulsification aspect of cleansing balms, what should happen is the second that water touches them, they just become basically a milk, like a water. And this one does that, but it still leaves a layer of film on my skin. So for me, it's just, I'm always going to double cleanse and use a second cleanser afterward, but it feels like I'm actually removing this versus anything else. So it's not something I enjoy, and I just don't like any cleansing balm or oil that leaves that sticky, weird film. Just not my cup of tea. The next one I love, this is the Hado Labo Cleansing Oil. So I used this all up. It's very cheap, or pretty affordable on Amazon, so I would definitely consider repurchasing it. But at the same time, I have the Softimo, the Posay one that I kind of prefer, and I think it's a few dollars cheaper, and I just get the refills for that. So there's nothing wrong with this if you like a cleansing oil. You do get 200 milliliters, so it's a pretty sizable amount. All of a sudden I look like I have a bob. Because my hair is behind me and I'm wearing a black shirt. So it's a good amount, but if I'm going to have to choose, again, I'm going to choose the Posay Softimo over this. They're very similar, but it's a few dollars cheaper, and I'm all about the price. Okay, another one. This is the Community 66 Makeup Melting Balm Cleanser. I did a full video on this. I will link it above. And I also featured this in my last cleansing balm video. And this one is another, God, I went through some of my least favorites while I was here because I just was I have to use them. I don't like this at all. If I had to choose out of these three that I don't like, we have the Cocokind, Bondi Sands, and the Community 66. This is my very least favorite. Very least favorite? I don't know if that's a phrase. It felt gritty oftentimes, incredibly thick, and it almost didn't emulsify often. You do have to use this one in the shower. I've learned if you use it at the sink, it's you're never gonna get it off your face. So that pressure, that stream of water in the shower makes it a little bit better, but I don't think that should be necessary. A cleansing oil or balm should work anywhere, regardless of how much water you use. And this one just was not a good experience. I could have a layer, I would go like that and get a layer of the film of it off of my face afterward. Hard pass. This one's a weird one, and I also mentioned this recently. This is the Shiseido Waso Shiku Lime gel to oil cleanser. This one, as opposed to the Community 66 one, this one you have to, well, you don't have to, but I found better to use at the sink because too much water kind of like made it non-existent. Like it didn't do its job. It just rinsed off your face before it actually took anything off. So I preferred to use this when I was washing my face on the sink, and it's a very lightweight kind of formula. And I don't know if people are going to understand what I mean by that, but like if we're thinking this is thick, which it is, this one goes on a very thin layer. You can't really build it up, and it doesn't feel like it's taking off a lot. I feel like it's for like people who don't have anything on their face, like maybe they just want to wash their face, versus if you wear makeup or sunscreen. I'm wearing sunscreen every day and makeup during the week, so this is just not heavy duty enough for me. But otherwise it's okay. It's just also a more expensive kind of Shiseido Sephora brand, so you could get something that's way more effective for half the price, if not more than that. So definitely not a repurchase. So the only one so far that has been a repurchase, or would be, is the Hado Labo. But again, because I do have the Posay one, I'm probably not going to repurchase it right now. Another one that I used up, gosh, we're almost through the cleansing balms. This is the Naturium Purple Ginseng Cleansing Balm. This is a great cleansing balm. It is silky, it's smooth, it emulsifies, it takes off your makeup, takes off sunscreen. It's really pleasurable. And what does it come in? Let's see. 3 ounces, so 88 milliliters. So my thing is I tend to find you don't get as good of a deal with a cleansing balm versus a cleansing oil. So like thinking of my Posay one, I think it's 200 or 250 milliliters. This is 88 milliliters and it's about $25, whereas the Posay is like $12. So for me, somebody who's washing my face constantly, not constantly, that makes it sound like that's all I do, but I wash my face often, and I do it for my job, like YouTube, and then I also do it in my real life. So I just go through these too quickly, and $25 adds up. Now, what I would recommend is if you are maybe in a pinch, you can find a Target nearby. They tend to stock this in Target, which I really like. Naturium doesn't always carry their full line in Target, but this one is usually there. So that would be kind of what I would do. Like if I'm in another city and I need a cleansing balm, this would be the one I would pick up versus some of the other drugstore ones. So that's kind of how I envision it. And then the last cleansing balm is the SheGlam Nourishing Neroli Face Cleansing Balm. This has a cool packaging. It had the little spoon there, and then you twist this off. But there's so little product in here. 35 grams, 1.23 ounces. It is $5, but also tend to have to get SheGlam off of their website, and it takes weeks because it's coming from China. Also, there's the whole like SheGlam issue. A lot of people don't like it. So I will not be repurchasing this for all of those reasons, but especially just because of the size. But the actual cleansing balm is great. It's very silky. It emulsifies really quickly with water. It takes off your makeup. It does have that neroli kind of like orangey smell. So if you don't like smells, this is not for you. But as an actual cleansing balm, it did the job. It's just not practical for me to repurchase. I'm sorry, I had one more though. This is a sample, and I've almost used it up. There's a little bit left, but I wanted to just put it in here. This is the Elemis Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm. I got this from Sephora, like in my package. It was a sample, and I am so confused. Like, why do people rave about this? This is on par with the Community 66 for being like a terrible level of cleansing balm. It's so thick. It doesn't take your makeup off. It does take your makeup off, but there's just that film, that layer of film that is left on it. And I feel like I need a super heavy duty foaming cleanser to get it off. It also has a very strong scent. I'm trying to put my finger on it. It's definitely an essential oil, but like it's a lot for me and I don't mind scents. So yeah. And it's also insanely expensive. So hard pass. No, thank you. So the only 2 that I would repurchase are the Naturium and the Hado Labo, which is nice to know, but sad that I didn't like more. Okay, let's see. I have one sunscreen, and that is the LaRoche Posay. Oh my god, look at how disgusting this thing is. Do you see that? That is my one issue with this, like the UV Mune. It does tend to have this like yellow discoloration. I don't see it on my face when I put it on, but I have heard from some people, I think it's if you have fairer skin, your skin kind of will have that like yellowish tinge. For me, it's more like at the end of the day, if I use like a washcloth or something and it's white, I can see that. And then obviously on the bottle. But this is just a stellar sunscreen. This is usually one of my go-to travel sunscreens, especially in the summertime, because it goes on. It doesn't leave you with a super dewy finish, which I like in the summertime. And I know I'm getting incredibly high protection. It's also very light and somewhat affordable. I think it's usually like $25-ish when I get it from Europe. I just ordered but a big size of the UV Mune. I think it's like for your whole body. And I'm a little sad because I should have picked up another of these because I think it's going to be a more hydrating version. And what I like about this, as someone who has normal skin, I don't always want to look like a disco ball, especially in the summer. And this is just, it's easy to put on. There's no white cast, no eye sting. It's probably my 3rd or 4th bottle of it. So I will continue to repurchase this. And I honestly, like, if I had to narrow down, oh man, I just got anxiety. If I had to narrow down like my top 5 chemical sunscreens, I think this would be in it. But whew, please don't make me do that. Although I think that would be a really good video. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, should I do top 5 mineral and chemical sunscreens? I probably should. Oh, but that's going to be so hard. Oh, when you know you should do something, but it's going to be hard. That's what I'm feeling right now. Okay, moving on, so we don't have a panic attack. This is the Arey Not Today Gray. I think this is my first, or is it my second? No, I think it's my 2nd bottle. And I actually bought a 3rd. So the brand sent me the first 2 because I asked them to send me a 2nd. And then I bought the 3rd because I was like, I don't want to ask them to send me a 3rd. But I really felt like I needed to give it like a full 3 months just because hair and hair growth doesn't happen overnight. Neither does skincare, but like I feel like my hair takes a little bit longer. And this is supposed to basically help with hair health, but also slow the loss of pigment. And I have been using it religiously. And I've also been using the serum in my hair. And I don't know, sometimes I go back and forth. Like, this is where I had a few grays, and it's going to be hard to see in this light, but I feel like they're still there. And I don't know. So it's like, do I just have to keep using these forever? And also, if it does slow the gray and like make it stop, then I literally do have to use it forever. So to me, if I like actually think about what I want from a product, first of all, I don't feel like I have a lot of gray hair, so I'm not super concerned. But if I have to think about spending basically $100 on this and the serum a month or every 2 months, probably cheaper just to dye my hair or get like root touch-ups if I'm at that point. But I don't know, because it's like, does this last or do you just have to take it forever? So I'm not finished with it. I can't really give my final thoughts, but I am planning to do like a 3-month wrap up, hopefully, and I'll have a little bit more thoughts by then. Okay. This is a sad empty, and I have repurchased. This is the Vieve Modern Powder Perfector in the shade Light. And the reason it's an empty is because, well, first of all, it came with the powder broken, and then I was fine. I just like went around it and didn't, it didn't bother me. But then I dropped it and it literally shattered. So I think it's so finely milled that it is more delicate. But I would say, like, if you are considering using this or buying this as a powder, it's not a travel one because it may just break. But I really did like the powder, and I felt like it was a good blurring powder. Well, you can use less, but it's a pretty thick, not thick, but like gives you coverage. So I did repurchase it, and I'm excited to have it back in my life. All right, this is the LaRoche-Posay Mela B3 Serum Dark Spot Corrector. I really enjoyed this. As a serum, there's nothing to it. It's very easy, it goes on. I used it for a month, and the problem with it is I was also using my vitamin C serum. So I don't know if the changes that I did kind of see on my face, and I took some before and afters, but I'm not gonna share them now. And I'm not sure if it was from this or if it was from the vitamin C. So right now I'm just using vitamin C, and I'm gonna take a picture after another 30 days and see, like, did it go back or did it get better? Because if it's the same, then this didn't really do much and it's just the vitamin C and sunscreen. But if I feel like my face looks worse, then I will add it back in. So that's my scientific method there. All right, another one is the Stratia Liquid Gold. Now it's called Lipid Gold. It's so old. This is a lightweight moisturizer. It's definitely got this like yellow pigment to it. I forget what it is in it. Oh, sea buckthorn. I liked it. It's very, very light but also nourishing. But that sea buckthorn is so bright that if you do have white pillowcases and you go to bed with this on, you may get some on, like transfer on your pillowcases. I don't think I'm gonna repurchase it just because it's not, I don't find myself like missing it out of my routine, but I know a lot of people love it and it's a great, smaller, kind of more indie brand, so I have nothing wrong with it. I just have a lot of moisturizers. Okay, a few more. 2 serums. We have the Prequel Vitamin C. Really enjoyed this. What I don't like about it is actually what I talked about, having the squirt. Now, that said, I do like having a squirt for most things, but because this is a pure liquid versus a serum, when I squirt it, it just goes everywhere and runs down my hand. So I unfortunately, I feel like a dropper would be better, but I also know that a dropper for vitamin C is gonna mean it's probably gonna oxidize more quickly. So it just kind of depends on what formula you like. If you like a more watery, runny one like this, or right now I'm trying the Naturium one, which is more of a serum, and that has a pump top also, but it doesn't go everywhere. So really liked it though. I think it's a very good, strong option if you want basically like a SkinCeuticals level vitamin C, but at a very affordable price. This is the Typology Serum. This is resveratrol 1% plus SPF 30, and I have a whole video that probably is live already on Typology. I loved this serum so much, and I was really sad when it was over, but I hate the packaging, and I don't even know if I used it all because I can't actually get anything out. That's the problem with glass, and like I can't see because it's brown. So it's also $60 some. I think if you're looking at it as resveratrol, in like the scheme of things, that's probably on the like, not affordable, but like average side for resveratrol. So I would love to repurchase it. I just can't justify it with this terrible packaging. It needs a squirt top. So love it. Just don't think I can repurchase it right now. And then my very last item is the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drops Shade 6. I've had these for a long time. I'm sure they expired, but they didn't actually because, I don't know, you know, we don't always use that. These are my perfect skin tint because they actually kind of set, so your skin is not dewy and like moving all about. And so if you have more normal skin, this is important. I also love it because it is one of the true neutral shades. And it blends in with basically any base product, any sunscreen I use underneath, if I use a sponge, if I use my hands, if I use a brush, it's pretty much perfect in my book. That said, I know it doesn't work on everybody, so if you have more dry skin, it's probably not the one for you. But for me, this is holy grail status, and I will definitely repurchase once I use some other products. Whew. These empties always take a long time, and I'm like out of breath by the end. But that is our video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!